Tonight on SUTV World News, we take a look inside the conflict between Israel and Palestine. Plus, Navy SEALs are in Romania training in the face of rising tensions between the U.S. and Russia. That and more right now on SUTV World News. We begin tonight in the Middle East, where Israel is fighting for its life. Today in Gaza, at least 35 people were killed by Israeli airstrikes, with at least 220 injured. These airstrikes coming in response to the hundreds of airstrikes launched from Gaza overnight. 5 people were killed in the airstrikes in Israel. Much of today has been spent picking through the rubble in Gaza and in Israel. In Gaza at the Al-Jawhara Tower, and in Israel, a state of emergency is in effect near the city of Lod. Around the world today, political leaders are speaking out. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson said in a tweet that he is urging for, quote, Israel and the Palestinians to step back from the brink and for both sides to show restraint, end quote. Meanwhile, Secretary of State Antony Blinken spoke from Washington.
We're deeply concerned about what we're seeing there. Images that came out overnight are harrowing, and the loss of any civilian life is a tragedy. I've asked Deputy Assistant Secretary of State Hadi Amr to go to the region immediately to meet with Israeli and Palestinian leaders. He will bring to bear his decades of experience, and in particular, he will urge on my behalf and on behalf of President Biden a de-escalation.
In Iran today, former President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad registered his candidacy for the upcoming June 18th election. Candidates have until May 15th to present their applications, which will need to be approved by the country's Guardian Council to take effect. Ahmadinejad, an avid supporter of a nuclear Iran, served as president of Iran from 2005 to 2013. This isn't the first time Ahmadinejad has tried to run for re-election. He ran in 2017 but was rejected by the Guardian Council. In Russia, 7 children and 2 adults were killed in a school shooting yesterday, and at least 16 people were injured after a gunman opened fire in a school in the city of Kazan. The death toll could be revised as more information becomes available. Earlier, Russian state media reported that a second gunman was involved in the shooting. It added that students were evacuated and the attacker was detained by law enforcement officers. And finally, tonight, a group of Navy SEALs are in Romania this month, taking part in special military exercises spanning across 5 Eastern European countries. And this training is taking place near the Black Sea, where Russia and Ukraine are in a standoff. CNN's Alex Marquardt reports.
A team of U.S. Navy SEALs, rifles drawn, move quickly through the pitch black of a warehouse on the Black Sea. Laser sights, invisible to the naked eye, finding and taking out enemy fighters.
Hey, shoot her down, shoot her down. All right, let's go. Break up, break up, break up.
Tonight, the dead, wounded, and bullets are not real, but part of an elaborate series of NATO military exercises involving almost 30,000 soldiers from 26 countries.
It's just showing everybody that we have a capability and we can use it when necessary.
CNN got rare access to some of the most elite U.S. troops in the world, taking part in a unique training called Trojan Footprint that is across Eastern Europe, working with forces from Spain, Georgia, Romania, Ukraine, and more. It could not come at a more tense time for this region, with Russia recently ratcheting up its aggression, sending tens of thousands of troops and a massive deployment of equipment to the border with Ukraine, prompting fears of an invasion and harsh condemnation from Europe and Washington. Back in Romania, this display of strength and cooperation clearly hoping to send a powerful message.
When we are strong, when we are united, it has a real chilling effect on, shall we say, the kinds of things that can happen. And so in this way, you cut down on the chance for mischief.
Even as Russia pulls back some of its troops from the land border with Ukraine, they've been stepping up their activities out here in the Black Sea. Their warships have been carrying out exercises. They've been harassing Ukrainian vessels and closing down parts of the Black Sea to other foreign ships as well. The Navy SEALs lead the training in those waters. while Ukrainian soldiers practice alongside these American Green Berets, whose faces we aren't allowed to show. When you talk to troops from other countries, like the Ukrainians, like the Romanians, how important do you think it is for them to feel that American support?
I think it's pretty significant. It shows that we're serious, working in exercises like Trojan Footprint. It is important whatever's going on around the world.
Which is why these massive exercises take place at sea, in the air, and on land.
Alpha 05, correction, 50 meters north, over.
A dynamic display of partnership and firepower, punctuating the loud message of a united front in troubling times.
4-1, good hits, target destroyed.
That is our broadcast for tonight. I'm Jacob Hitz. Be sure to follow us on all of our social media at SUTV News and check out our website at sutvnews.org. We are back with our final newscast of the semester tomorrow. Until then, good night.